Here's a look at the market for Wednesday, January the 27th, 2010, FOMC News Day. So we always like to start at eMiniDayTrader with a look at the market profiles. So what we're looking at here is today's profile and volume profile. This is from yesterday. So the one in the middle there is the Globex or overnight session. So we like to look at these to give us a good idea of the condition of the market, where good support and resistance lies, and then also to give us a sense of is the market likely to continue moving sideways, or is it more in a directional phase? And we have been in a downward auction process here for several days. And we were looking at around the 80 area, the low 80s as possible support. The market had reached that overnight a couple of sessions ago, and you can see here the news reaction low actually dipped down to 79 and then turned around and had a rally up. And our resistance currently right now is right there at 1100, so it didn't quite make it up there. So the rejection off of the low is good. But the follow through higher, I would say, is good too, but just not as good, just kind of okay. So this down auction that we're in, and when I say a down auction that we're in, I'm mostly referring to the day-to-day auction that usually takes place in a swing kind of basis. It may last just a few days. It may last several weeks. The one that we're in right now has been going on since the middle of last week. And we don't think it's changed. We think it's still down, although we do have some support in around the 85 area for tomorrow. So we're looking really initially at a market likely to be contained from about 97 to 85. And that's kind of the area of containment we're looking at on the immediate basis for tomorrow. Now, obviously, should the market hold above the 1100 or below the, let's call it 1080, that would be either very bullish or bearish. So these are the numbers that we're going to look at in that regard. But as far as an intraday bias is concerned, we're still looking at the down, and will do until the market can hold for a period of time above the 1100 area. So we also like to look at the market profiles here from just the regular trading hours as well, and that also helps us to tie in other clues to see if they get confirmed in the regular trading hours as well, and to give us a better handle on who's really in charge of the auction, if either the buyer or seller is in charge. Here's our software here. It's based on the 1 minute. It does produce paint bars, balance areas, and various other things. So you can see that down in this area here around the 80, the low 80s we said, so let's say 80, 81, that kind of thing. You can see that when the market did come down, good support there early in the day, and it didn't get up anywhere near the next resistance up, but we did have an idea that quite likely the 93 area could act as resistance. So the market didn't quite get up there. Overnight it did get to 92.50 and then sell off and come on down, and I believe the overnight low was at 83, yeah, right about here. So this was the range from overnight. So the market, the resistance area held nicely, and the market did come down and test the previous day's low, and come down and test into this area and have a pretty good bounce. So nothing new was really going on. We wanted to monitor when the FOMC news is released whether or not this low here would hold. And if it did, then the market could come back up and test possibly the 1100. Well, you can see here that it did test below just for less than a minute. Good rejection off of that, and then basically was bought up for the rest of the day. So we had a couple of trades in the morning, and then a couple of trades after the news was released. We did get short relatively early here in the trading day. And unfortunately we were stopped out on that trade right in here just by a tick, and then it fell down in our favor. So it was a little bit unfortunate. Our stop was just a tick too tight. We got long on this pullback here, and that rallied for us very nicely. So unfortunately stopped out on the first one, but the second one did very nicely for us. Now some of our more aggressive traders were looking to get long off of any kind of rejection in this 80 area. So some did get long in here and some did get long in here, but these were not system type trades. These are trades that some of our traders would identify based on the condition of the market and the expectation of the support to hold and the confirmation of that support holding, i.e. lower prices being strong and rejected, and that's what we had here. So we did have a follow-through trade right in here for our third trade, and that was just a break even. It reached our first objective and then backed off. We came within one tick, believe it or not, of getting long down here, which actually would have been our third trade. Unfortunately, it just didn't quite set up, and then the market took off to the upside. So this ended up by being our third trade up here. And it was just a break-even trade. Late in the day, we did have an indication, a signal, I should say, to get long right in here. Unfortunately, we got stopped out on that trade. So, not usual for us to get stopped out twice in one day, but we did today. So we did have a losing day today. One of our, I think, only our second losing day of the month, if I'm not mistaken. But under these very, not extremely volatile conditions, but somewhat volatile once the news was released, and just coming within a hair's breadth of having a really nice long trade shortly after the news, and then just getting stopped out on that first trade just by a tick. So, this is, it's what happens sometimes, but that's it. So, as far as our support, we're looking at around 85 up to around 1100 is the main support and resistance for right now. Any questions or comments, just get a hold of us at info@eMiniDayTrader, or give us a call. Our phone number's on the website. Thanks for watching the video, and we'll see you again tomorrow.